Had to stop the last video for a second. So here's part 2 of my garden. So these 2 beds right here, my granddaughter built herself. I'm telling you, she bought the wood. I cut the wood, but she measured it out. She screwed the wood together. She dug spadeful down and took all the sandy soil and threw it on the garden mulch pile. She lined it with plastic first, then the mole guard wire, and there's no rotten wood chips in here. It's all been sifted through the 1-inch trailer concept, and then she took that and filled the beds. Then she took these the lettuce and the herbs. So the herbs are down there and the lettuce are all here. And in between each of the lettuce is a ground crop like beets, carrots, turnips, those kind of things. And yes, there's flowers growing up through here too. So there was a couple places, and I don't mean to dime you out, granddaughter, but you see that lettuce right there? She stuck her knee on that one. This one over here, she stuck her hand on, half of it, but it's looks like it's coming up. And I think there was 1 or 2 more in this other bed that she forgot what she was doing. She also had her brother out here helping her too. So, but I got to give it to my granddaughter. She did these beds by herself. Built them by herself. So let's go back to so this row here is my bean row. So random, I think there's 8, 9, 10 different types of beans and peas in here. Down the middle. And on the outsides, onions and flowers. On the side, onions and flowers. And again, there's garlic on every single bed on the ends. And if they're long rows, every 3 feet. This row here, this is my potato row, or half of it, and then some random squashes on the end. So this bed here is 1-inch garden soil mix, and let's see here, I got purple potatoes. There's 4 of them. 4 reds. 4 golden. Worm pile. And then these are store-bought whites. Let me show you these store-boughts. And I've been told that store-boughts won't work. This is at least 2 feet tall. And I might be wrong, I might be over exaggerating, but I swear these things grew 2, 3, 4 inches overnight. Overnight. And the squash is up there. So let me just give you a little bit about this bed. Well, actually the 3. The 2 on the end right there. And this one here. They all have the same concept for the most part. This one here doesn't have worm feeder beds, tubs in them, but they all kind of the same thing. They got rotten wood chips from spade full down all the way to the top, and this one here is mounded up a little bit. And it's mixed in with garden soil and lots of manure. Lots of manure. And they got wood sides. So I will tell you, on my wood sides, I have found that if I mound them up like this, I got to add a lot of water. So in between, you can't see too much, too easy, but I've got holes, 3 big holes that I send water down to saturate the bottom to help feed the top. I've kind of seen that if I keep on these raised beds, this one here in the middle, if I keep the soil below the wood, it seems like it stays a little moist even with the mulch on top, the hay mulch. But the mounded one, I have to water a lot. And this first row is slightly mounded, but I seem to have to water it a lot too. Now these 3 beds, the 2.5 beds, those 2 and this half one, they all have top crop only, no ground crops, because there's so much wood chips mixed into them. I think that the ground crops would have a hard time growing, so I do use the rotation method. So last year, this bed here was nothing but tomatoes and hot peppers, tomatillos. That's what was in this bed. This one right here was just sweet tomatoes. And that one was actually messed up on that one. I had cucumbers in this bed, this mounded bed last year. This year I put squash, random squashes in it. So I changed the crops, but same type of crop for the most part. So that's pretty much my garden. And again, I'll tell you, I'm smiling, but this is my backyard. I'm doing all this in my backyard. All this in my backyard. This is my workstation back here where I mix my mulch and dirt. My wife kind of laughs at me, but I still got 20 feet here, 20 plus feet here I could plant. Sure can. Thinking about putting container. It's too early to tell, but I am in love with this wicker basket idea from Mr. Arms. I am in love with this thing. I don't know if it's going to work yet, but it's working right now. So thanks for watching my channel. Subscribe, like, come back. I'll talk about some of these other things going on back here a little more in depth later. Love you guys. Garden and smile while you're doing it.